that's the easiest example I can give you in terms of reinforcement learning. Yeah, so reinforcement learning is a machine learning technique that really enables an agent to learn in an interactive, real-time environment by trial and error, and also using feedback from its own actions. So within the simulator, we have an agent, which is a piece of software, which in our case is our AWS Deep Racer car, that acts autonomously to a given environment to reach a specific goal. So in our case, like I mentioned, the agent is our Deep Racer vehicle, our car, and the goal is really to finish a lap around the track. So next you can see here the environment. This is a surrounding area which our agent, meaning our car, interacts with. So in our case, this is the track that we design and have configured within our AWS RoboMaker. So now at any given point in the racetrack, the car is going to make an observation on what it is the state, like where I am on my track and what do things look like around the track. And based on that, the car is going to make a certain action. So the state in Deep Racer context is basically what the car can see through its camera. The car is going to start off on the track on the starting line, which we're going to refer as the initial state. So basically for every state, our car, our agent, needs to take an action to try and achieve its goal of making a full lap around the track. So really depending on which action it takes at a given state, it will be given a reward. Right? So if the chosen action gets the agent closer to the goal, you can reinforce this action further by giving it a negative or a positive reward or no reward at all. So this reward that you see here is specified through a reward function, which is a piece of code, which Jacob will show you further on in the reward function in the demo later on. And the last concept here is an episode, which represents each interaction where your agent, which is your car, goes from the start position to a termination state. And the termination state simply means where it drives off the track or it finishes a lap around the track. So this reward function really means it's just to incentivize particular behaviors, and it is really the core of what we call reinforcement learning, right? So to run your Deep Racer car, providing a reward function will be the most important job. So basically, just like the simple analogy of training a dog, providing a treat as a reward when it does a correct trick that you taught him is really the core of reinforcement learning.
Marcelo, we do have a question that's come up. And Abdullah's asked, can we use any other ML model instead of reinforcement, instead of a reinforcement model?
I think the Deep Racer model is mostly based on reinforcement learning.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is the model that we'll actually be only using for AWS Deep Racer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And we'll go through all the steps for this, but it's all about reinforcement learning is all about rewarding behavior. So your little car, how you want it to go around the track. So you can actually program these cars with like supervised machine learning. But it would take it's actually a lot of it. You need to collect a lot of data to do it. So in machine learning, there absolutely is different ways to solve different problems. But we're just starting with a simple one to get you started.
Yeah, thank you for your... Any more questions? Feel free, don't be shy. You can unmute yourself, or if you're feeling shy, you can type your questions on the chat as well. Right, this session is really for you to ask all the questions that you have about machine learning or Deep Racer. So please just fire away.
And Bazit has also asked, can we use the pre-existing algorithms, or do we have to develop our own? So yeah, I can answer that. So what you're going to be so as Marcela's showing the slide about the reward function, that's what you're going to be developing. So that's a little bit of Python code that you'll see some examples of how it all works.